What's up guys, we're here and I want to talk about gear score and how gear score will be highly effective. In fact, it will be sorely desirable in year 2. How do I know that? Why do I know that? Let's take a look at this. Now on Twitter, there was a gentleman called Agent Put. Now he posed a question yesterday on the 18th of December, just speculating here, but did you notice that the gear displayed in State of the Game of the gear for upcoming loot changes in 2020 were not 500 gear score? Did you notice both item stats were very similar in how good the item was? Maybe gear score will finally matter. And guys, it really will. Frederick responded, gear score 500 item will have all bars at max. That's pretty insane. And we know now that, again, going into year 2, that gear score 500 will have the max rolls for each attribute and core attribute, and that's brilliant. That's great because you want that 500 gear piece, you want that gear score item, and again, so you put on the best bits of gear to make sure that 500 gear score items drop. But with that being said, the gear, the loot, the RNG mechanic, the drop rate will change. Everything will change going to year 2. So there's a lot of work behind the scenes that they are doing to improve the balance in this game, which is a good thing. And you know me, that I've been complaining for a long time now that balance is sorely lacking in this game. Now PvP, it's in a decent place. I enjoy PvP. The grind does feel tiresome, makes me feel a bit lethargic at times because I do feel it's quite continual and progress is, again, nowhere near what I would like, but still it's decent. It's very playable. Go for PvP, and it's my least favourite part of the game. And there's very different reasons for that being said. Now, one of them is the balance issue. Now, again, there is that somewhat huge gulf between the meta builds as opposed to anything in between. And again, and that's partially the devs' fault when we look at the vendor reset items, when we're talking these really silly 30% armor chest pieces and 25%, whatever it is, armor backpacks. Again, anyone in the right mind would have bought a shitload for each different role, and then they would shoehorn them onto their builds to make their build really powerful whilst dealing a lot of damage and also have the ability to have max skill power. So you can see where these builds have been, again, corrupted. Frankenstein builds have been made, and yet they are OP in PvP. This is where there's a big gulf between the balance and where we need to sit to ensure this game improves as time goes on, just to, again, extend the longevity of this game. And again, PvP in the Division 1 was what kept the game thriving for a long time, and PvP in Division 2 is not thriving currently. So this will help. What does that mean? What does it mean for builds moving forward? Now, one thing I would take a note at is, again, we just take a look at this piece here. This piece here that has the harness armor, whatever it may be, Fenris. So let's take a look at the attribute and the core attribute. And one thing I do know is that armor is and will be a core attribute in year 2. So again, I'm guessing there will be several different options where to roll these core attributes. So on this particular chest piece, you have weapon damage as a core attribute. What looks likely is that you'll be able to remove weapon damage and replace it with armor, as an example. And that will mean, again, you will have your build into the tank scenario. You cannot have armor and weapon damage, which is great. Which means there is a lot more viability going into year 2 and PvP. This gets me a little bit excited, by the way. And then we talk about backpacks, and then backpacks, this could be, again, different. Again, with the current backpack, you will see armor on the backpack. Again, as a core attribute, there'll be a max stat with that, with a 500 gear score drop. And in all fairness, that is another great thing for the game. So you won't be able to stack armor everywhere. I'm guessing certain slots you will have different options for your core attribute. And with that being said, there'll be a lot more balance in PvP, which will make this game a lot more fun in PvP. So I do feel that gear score, going into not this next update, I do feel, because they have an immense amount of work to do behind the scenes to get this right, but in year 2, so March time, with that year 2 pass, we will see some good stuff coming, and this is a great change for the game. Now, you will see a lot of people say that the Division 2 is dead, it's stale, it's dry, it's boring, and I'm on the fence. This is someone who's very, very positive about this game and has been for a long, long time. The last 4 to 6 weeks, I've really felt very lethargic playing this game. The grind, which is continual, and as soon as you get into PvP, my love for the game just starts to just dwindle. So this happening in year 2 can only be a good thing, not just for me, but for the community, to instill some balance into the core of the game. So I'm excited. I am genuinely excited about this. With that being said, I asked Frederick a question, and Frederick responded. I asked this: what about the armor rolls on 500 gear score drops? Will they fluctuate as well, or have a set number? Apologies if this has been addressed already, but this should be a given. Frederick being Frederick, and obviously lack of humour, he said, we will detail it all in January, but this was answered in that picture and on the show. Armor rolls don't fluctuate, instead armor is a core attribute. So the armor rolls you will get as the per number, that 34,998, the chest piece, wherever it may be, that is a set number, which is nice. Because again, how often gear pieces fluctuate in this game really gets my goat. It really does. You find a really nice chest piece, but then, you know, the armor roll's quite low, so you have to try and grind for another one. And the grind just feels like a kick in the balls again and again and again. It gets to a point where I think, I don't want my balls kicked anymore. I really want to have fun in this game and stop kind of getting frustrated regarding the grind of chasing loot. This helps, so I'm happy that the devs have listened to an abundance of people on Reddit and YouTube who have complained and complained and complained and stated there needs to be a simpler attribute system, and this will help. Armor rolls will not fluctuate. Happy days. Armor is a core attribute, and on each piece, from what I can make out, is that we'll have one core attribute and 1 or 2 attribute slots. And that's what we're looking at doing the build. And that's something that I'm excited about in building in year 2. So this gives me a glimmer of hope. If I nail this, happy days. Jobs are good. And I do feel we all need to be excited that builds, PvP will change. Gear score is relevant. Year 2 is looking kind of positive if they get this right. If they don't and it blows up, I'm an unhappy chappy. But we'll see. We'll see in time, and we'll see what they tell us in January. But what I do see and what I have noticed and picked up from this is very, very positive. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. Can we get excited about this? Gear score 500. Every piece needs to be that to get the best stats. Guys, I don't think this is a good thing for the game. So let's do this. Let's be positive. Let's see what year 2 brings. And January best come soon, because this has wet my whistle. I'm looking forward to year 2 now. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a like. Want to see more Division 2 content, smash the sub button. See you in the next one. Peace.